In a previous concept that we had called the 2 economies and 2 success decisions, we discussed the idea that our world really operates in 2 distinct economies with different rules of engagement. We called them the time-effort economy and the results economy. Robert Kiyosaki, in a brilliant little book published in 1998 called the Cash Flow Quadrant, takes this idea to another level as he discusses the shift from employee to self-employed to business owner and then investor. And this concept has formed a groundwork for countless conversations within the walls of our organization and is a terrific framework to understand the progression that we pursue for our agent clients. There really is no replacement for reading a good book. So first off, I would encourage any entrepreneurially minded business people to pick up the book at some point. But from within the framework of the real estate sales world, the following ideas represent how the cash flow quadrant takes shape within our team. Essentially, there are 4 major quadrants that form a cycle or a progression of a successful business. Many, perhaps most of us in the real estate world, at some point had a job. We worked for an employer who, in exchange for a paycheck on a regular basis, performed our work duties at their discretion. In this quadrant, we have a job. Now, realtors have made the leap from employee to being self-employed. In essence, we became our own employers and reclaimed our independent right to determine our own strategy for executing our work duties. You can work as much or as little as you want. You can show up at whatever time you want. But in this quadrant, although a realtor has taken control of their day as an independent contractor, they really still have a job. Think of it this way. If, as a realtor, you put in long hours, you prospect well, and as a result, build a great sales funnel, you're going to make a great revenue. If, however, you sleep in, avoid challenging marketing and sales activities, and as a result don't generate business, well, then you will not. The decision is yours, but the outcome is directly tied to your direct inputs. You have control of your job, but it's a job nonetheless. So in this quadrant, we say you own your job. Now, the shift from employee to self-employed is one that every realtor has made. Very few, however, make the next shift, which is exactly where we believe our focus as brokers and agents should be. There's a fundamental difference between someone who is self-employed and someone who runs a business. At the most basic level, in a business, rather than owning or having control over your time and inputs, you own a system that works for you. A system or a process means that you have created value outside of your personal ability to perform the job. In other words, the process has value in and of itself, regardless of who is performing the duties. As a business owner, you own more than control of your job. You own a system. Michael Gerber explains this exceptionally well in The E-Myth Revisited, which is another essential read, as systems run the business, people run the systems. Now, we aren't talking about some pie-in-the-sky notion of complete automation, where your business somehow passively produces a 7-figure income while you lay at the pool. Rather, we believe that a real estate business has the ability, regardless of whether it has 1 or 100 employees, to create a set of processes and systems that have innate value. Very small examples of this can be implemented from the ground up in your real estate business. Take, for example, the act of staying in touch with your database. An agent operating in the self-employed quadrant will from time to time decide to create a marketing piece or a newsletter to send to their SOI. A business owner, however, will work to build a duplicatable, steady stream of outbound communication with their database. It's scheduled, systematic, and could be handled by someone else. This way, if the agent's away on vacation, they can have someone else handle this process in their absence. Alternatively, the agent now has the ability to hire administrative support to take over this process. Another example might be after-sales follow-up. An agent who owns their job will from time to time remember to check in with folks who purchased a home in the recent past. A business owner, however, creates a sustainable program to stay in touch with past clients, creating a scheduled campaign that includes updates on market values and routine check-ins. Again, if executed well, this process can be handed off to team members once developed. A business owner understands the importance of creating duplicatable, sustainable, and transferable processes. In essence, this takes the value of the business out of the entrepreneur's head and into a system. Not only does making the shift from owning your job to owning a system allow for expansion and automation of your business, it also means that you're building something with inherent value. The agent who spends 10 years operating as a salesperson in the self-employed quadrant, when they retire, stop making sales and stop making money. But the agent who spends 10 years building and improving their systems will one day own a system with inherent value that can easily be sold as a business with proven processes that produce a stream of income and a bottom line. Shifting our thinking as agents from that of salespeople who are self-employed to business owners who build, sustain, and improve duplicatable, sustainable, transferable systems is a huge step that fundamentally transforms our approach to the business. Successful business owners who produce positive net returns on their business now have the ability to step into the fourth quadrant. An investor is someone who puts their money to work for them by investing in other businesses or other opportunities. Our goal is for our agents to build their real estate business to a place where they're producing a net bottom line profit as a business while paying themselves a salary. Furthermore, we believe that the remaining profit in their businesses can now be leveraged either towards growth or towards investing elsewhere. It's our belief that successful agents should be investing in real estate themselves every year, taking advantage of inside information into the best opportunities in the market. We also believe that successful agents should be working towards balanced strategic investment portfolios that account for the long term, including retirement planning. For so many within the real estate sales world, these ideas seem too far off to be practical. But in our experience, realtors who embrace a business mindset approach to the industry have an immense opportunity to build successful businesses that free them to enjoy the best that our industry has to offer.